Yep. I'm back, NPC slaves, to bring you episode number 300 of the Sky Lounge podcast. Hapless hiatuses and hitting happenings 300 episodes and 4 years later. Woo! And you would think after 300 episodes in 4 years, I'd be a little bit more organized, a little bit more prepared, but no. It's like another fucking week hiatus. But do you know what's been going on throughout the week? Yeah, no fucking shit. I know what's been going on through the last week. And that's why I feel it's appropriate to address all you motherfuckers as NPCs. Because all of you are non-playable characters and you have little to no significance in terms of value of furthering the story. And why I have to come out so harshly and say that shit is the 2020 presidential election isn't even over. Yet you have all these fucking morons, either liberals or conservatives, libtards or conservatives, just bowing down to Biden. And what was curious was over the weekend when mainstream media called the shot and said, Joe Biden is the projected president-elect of the United States. You had retards in major cities like New York City, DC, parading around like fucking monkeys and morons. And no, that's not a fucking racist term. Have you actually seen monkeys dance around like idiots, throwing shit around? Yeah. That's what liberals were doing on the street. It's almost as if Kung Flu magically went away, right? And a lot of you conservatives watching the libtards do this shit are crying in the fucking corner, bitching about, it's not fair. This isn't right. What happened? Well, it's not over, dipshit. What the fuck? The counts aren't over until the court says it's over. It's almost as if you NPCs are so blatantly programmed and so clearly inundated that I can't get through to you assholes. Most of you, I can't talk to anymore because you are so fucking gone in. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I sound kind of crazy right now. I'm wearing the fucking American headband with a goddamn business shirt, making me look like a fucking Viet Cong soldier. Like, no, relax. That's not me here. Because my whole intent is to paint you a picture of why the United States is the greatest fucking country in the world. But we are so filled to the brim with retards on both sides that it genuinely concerns me that the people who know what's right, the people who are in that middle to figure out that balance, you guys are way too silent. You guys are way too fucking quiet. It annoys the hell out of me. And this is where I gotta speak up. And I always tell you people this, I don't care about numbers. I don't care about followers. I don't care about views. I don't care about any of that shit. The reality of what I do here is I just want to make sure my truth is heard from my own fucking voice and my own fucking brain. And obviously, thoughts and opinions change. I mean, they're kind of free-flowing shit. But I always want to be authentic. I always want to be raw with my shit. Because what we have now, you know, whether it's just your everyday NPCs who might call yourselves your fucking friends, you don't really know what reality is anymore. Because the way mainstream media would portray reality to you is that America is a burning hellhole that Orange Man created. You can't walk the street if you're black and live because white cops are out to kill you. And if you aren't white, you aren't going to progress in this society. This is the fucking the painting that mainstream media gives to you each and every fucking time. And most of you have bitten into that narrative. And it's really unfortunate because I'm sitting here as a non-citizen. And I tell people this all the time, straight up, that I'm part of DACA. And yes, that was an executive order by the Obama administration that I totally disagree with. Because that shit, long story short, is a policy that should be derived from Congress to create a pathway for kids who have been here for numbers of years, committed no crimes, and have, quote unquote, illegally stayed because of whatever fucking paperwork went wrong along the way. And now because they have immunity under DACA, they're okay. But Congress should be culpable and responsible for putting out a very, specific and I would say a more thorough policy than this fucking ridiculous DACA shit, which you have to renew every 2 years, and every 3 years it's always up in the air because Congress or the fucking Supreme Court always gets up in their feelings, don't do shit about immigration, and it just always becomes a kind of up in the air bullshit, which frustrates me to no end. But even within that high, that status, within those parameters, I will still tell you that I love this country, and I'm not gonna be no fucking retard jumping on the goddamn Republicans' dick or the Democrats' dick just because they're giving me a pat on the back. I always tell people this. I don't particularly agree with bilateral partisanship. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. And what I'm realizing more and more is that we need more of a unifying party, a one-minded party, kind of like an America First party, because that's the way we elevate this country, man. You can't have these old relic Republicans and these radical fucking left-wing liberals and Democrats just constantly just pulling and playing tug of war with no palpable result. It's just ridiculous. And that's why I like Trump, because he's not Republican by any means. I mean, he's not a conservative based on policies and what conservatives in America actually believe in. It's ludicrous to think that. But again, most of you NPCs can't think for yourself. You watch CNN, you watch MSNBC, you watch ABC, you watch CBS, you watch Fox News, which every single one of those that I just listed, and I'm not even going to fucking start mentioning the goddamn online media news outlets because they're a whole other fucking basket case in themselves. But you motherfuckers have let yourselves become sheeps to these false shepherds. And by no means am I a religious person, but my God, man, how do you not fucking find a center in yourself to block these outside noises? You know what I respect about Christians? They can fucking focus up if they need to. I don't agree with religion by any means, man. I don't have any fucking religion in my eyes. It's not a burn all fucking church or shit. It's more like live your life how you want, man. Just don't fucking harm people. No rape, murder, or crime. I always say that shit. But that's the one thing I can respect about these conservative Christians, that you can focus up, you can channel your energy to do something real fucking impactful if you need to. But most of you don't have that discipline. Most of you don't have that focus. And for Christians, I mean, the one thing I shit on is your over-reliance on a supposed God and a text that is made by men who are just absolutely ridiculous and useless in the grand scheme of things. All men are. I'm not just berating the Christian man. I'm berating everyone. And it's up to you as an individual to find your universal truth and center. But, that's the whole thing with these slaves right now, man. You guys are letting yourselves be controlled. You guys are letting yourselves be sheeps to these false shepherds, and you're fucking following through on mainstream media's narratives and not the facts. And that really concerns me, because it's not just one or two people. These are millions of people, real life people believing in this bullshit. And I always said this, like, you can't save everybody. But in this, kind of meme war, so to speak, you don't fight to just save one or two people. You fight for the good of everyone, right? A true warrior of Kakistan does not fight the thing he hates in front of him, but he fights for those he love's behind him. Something along those lines. And are you really going to just quote memes all fucking day? Yeah, pretty much, because that's more reliable than what you fucking NPCs are watching in CNN, MSNBC, NBC, CBS, Fox News, Fox, Bloomberg, New York Times, Washington Post, Snopes, Now This, Vice. Credible sources. I remember that shit back in high school when my speech teacher was trying to teach us how to properly set up bibliographies. Shout out to Mrs. Bouchard, man. You actually made me kind of come out of my shell in terms of public speaking, and I absolutely adore public speaking more than anything else. But it was this teacher that really taught us that, hey, primary sources are key. You have to look for the source right then and there, right? I mean, the primary source meaning you got that direct statement, quote, fact, whatever, from that thing, that person, whatever have you. And, you know, it's these little things that I learned throughout my childhood, through my schooling, through high school, through college, that I'm using all of it now. And I have to look around and think, dude, I'm a fucking idiot and I'm doing this shit on a whim. And it's more effective than all these idiots who call themselves geniuses and PhD experts. Like, none of this is pulling through for you motherfuckers. How is it that a fucking moron like me gets more efficient and effective conclusion than you stupid motherfuckers? It's because I can focus up. It's because I can block out noise. And a lot of you stupid idiots need to understand how to do this shit properly. Otherwise, again, you'll be like monkeys. Brainless, furred morons. But monkeys are the smartest creatures of the planet. Oh my God. Stop it. Stop it. Monkeys aren't smart. Okay? They're smart to the point where, yes, in relative terms to, you know, sentient animals without complex speech patterns or complex frontal lobes like the human beings, yeah, monkeys are smart within that terms, but in the grand scheme of the planet Earth, like, no, stop. They're not smart, okay? Fuck. Yet, when I look around at all these NPCs, I really start questioning that theory. Like, well, maybe people aren't that fucking smart. Maybe the people, at least, you know, within my vicinity, they might be retarded. And don't get fucking offended if you do know me and you see this shit and you get into your fucking feelings. Shut the fuck up. Get over yourself. Because most of you right now, and I'm not just talking about the people that I know, but most of you right now are buying into this fucking Biden narrative. You're buying into this shit because A, you're pussies, or B, you're fucking liberal slaves. Take either or. I don't really care. But it's when you give up that they win. It's when tyrannical forces puts you in a depressing state. It's when they feel as though they put you in a box to contain you and they feel like they won. That's when you can't give up. And this is what mainstream media has done so perfectly. And I understand why NPCs are getting just sucked into this shit. Because, motherfucker, I was one of those fucking people. Yeah. Still plugged in, like, oh my God, Trump's gonna ruin America. Blah. 4 years ago was a long time. But, bro, all I gotta tell you is none of this shit is over. When you have numbers and receipts canceling out narratives, but you still believe in narratives, you're an NPC. Straight up, you are. And this has been very prevalent over the last week where I've been going hard on Instagram. And that's mainly because, spoiler alert, kids, I'm still suspended from Twitter. And the funny story is, I was being a mean piece of shit on Twitter. I can acknowledge that. I'm calling Hillary Clinton a thunder cunt. I'm calling Joe Biden rapey McNightmare pedophile Joe Biden. I'm calling Kamala Harris crazy cunt Kamala KKK because that bitch is all about rounding up black people and putting them in terrible situations. And it's because of that kind of brashness that Twitter took it upon themselves to censor me. And I totally get it. They want to, paint the victim complex picture for these criminals and these scumbags. Yeah, little old me with not even 100 followers, they just said, fuck you. And I actually sent out a pretty decent paragraph to Twitter multiple times regarding the situation. And the whole summary of that was, you take your time to block little old me, but you are completely ignoring the fact that these are politicians that have years of receipts. And my God, if you tell me that Clinton, Biden, and Harris are clean politicians all throughout their career and history, you are a dumb piece of shit. Just hang yourself right now. You are absolutely useless in the realms of the world. That's so fucking mean. This is why Twitter banned you. Hence, I'm going hard on fucking Instagram. Like, I don't really hold the punches anymore. Why would I? Because you NPCs don't fucking listen unless I scream in your fucking ears. And that's what the liberals have been doing for 4 fucking years. And this is where I tell all the conservatives, all you country-loving Americans, all you fine patriots to do this. The liberals have been doing this fucking autistic scream shit for 4 fucking years. Fight back, you fucking pussies. Fight back. Use memes. Scream back. Use facts. Straight up shut them down. Why are you being bitches? Why do you give up so fucking easily when it's not even over yet? I told my mother this, who has no real emotional investment into American politics, nor politics in general. She's one of those very indifferent people when it comes to politics, and that's how you should actually live life. Straight up. Just live day to day. You can't worry about the problems in front of you, and, plan for the immediate future and long-term future, relatively speaking. But when you can recognize that politics is a tool and not something to have as a fucking chain, you can live pretty freely. But when this woman is telling me that, hey, what do you think is going on with all this shit? And even when she's questioning, all of this, it's a weird time, man. And it frustrates me to no end when I have all these fucking liberals around me celebrating prematurely. Oh, she won. Madam President Kamala Harris. That is so presumptuous and so fucking disgustingly blatant and obvious that I don't really have a lot to say about that. Other than, the Democrats are cheating. There's massive voter fraud going on. That at least minimum 6 states, Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Arizona, that now you have multiple sworn affidavits by witnesses claiming that there's not a whole lot of legitimacy in these states. And when you have these NPCs either on the left and right dismissing what's happening, I shudder to think what's going to happen when the hammer falls and Trump's put back in office. Like, what are you slaves going to do then? I know what you liberals are going to do. You're going to freak the fuck out. You're going to burn shit again. BLM, burn, loot, murder, Antifa. Just the dumbest fucking thing. Antifa are soy boy cucks who never got laid and pretty much went the route of never getting pussy, so you're going to burn shit. And, yeah, I have to ask, what are you conservatives going to do if the liberals start rioting in? Are you going to do the same fucking shit you've been doing for 4 fucking years, doing absolutely nothing and being lazy cunts? Because if anything, this election should tell conservatives and right-wing people, Republicans, that you need to be more active. You need to get shit done. And guess what? have younger people involved. Get people who are actually passionate behind your fucking shit. Stop using these legacy assholes to further your goddamn plans. It's not working. I ain't granted. McConnell, Graham, all those fucking legacy conservatives are still fucking in office, but man, oh man, you motherfuckers are so goddamn lazy and so goddamn cucked. It's embarrassing. And again, I don't believe in the notion of the bilateral party system. I really do believe there should be one unifying party that should be very nationalist based. It should be America first. It should be for growing this country into a powerhouse in the world. And through that, we can lead by example, right? Interstellar travel, domestic wealth in terms of infrastructure, energy, exports, etc. But we don't get there until we figure out this bullshit bilateral party fucking conflict every 2 fucking years, which doesn't get us anywhere. But I'm hoping this is the year where shit finally breaks. Shit finally fucking breaks and we can get into this hopefully a uniform system, so to speak. Not really a system, but a uniform in a party under one banner. You sound like Hitler! Oh! Drop the hats because the fucking couch is too plushy, kids. And yes, this is the weird thing about just switching up locations every now and then in the house, but you might say, oh, this sounds exactly like how Hitler did things. I know Hitler's a terrible person. Never going to defend the fucking, plan to murder and commit genocide. Never going to defend that shit. But the reality of history, and the beauty of history really, is that it's not about placing the narrative or the positive and negative connotation. It's about understanding facts, dates, and happenings. And what had happened during the time of Hitler. And again, historians, please correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm really just briefly fucking summarizing this shit. Hitler pretty much got a destitute Germany after, Germany got fucked in World War I. He brought a depressed, broken country into one of the proudest nations and one of the most effective, efficient nations, to the point where American soldiers going into Germany in 1945, 44, and once the Allies were winning, they were assigned by the government to bring back German soldiers to the United States. Why do you think NASA was so fucking great? German soldiers. It's kind of like free agency with American sports. Russia's like, okay, yeah, well, we want to pick up the Mr. Hans and Mr. Windberg. Is he Jew? I don't know. Bring him in. Americans just, all right, boy, you a kraut? All right, come on down. I like your Wiener Schnitzel, boy. Schmitty, come on down. We're gonna bring you down to Texas. Make a rocket ship in Houston. That's some real shit, man. Look it up. Ooh, conspiracy theory. Stop fucking throwing that word conspiracy theory when there are plenty of receipts to back things up like this. I got the actual title and name of the operation for bringing German soldiers in. But dude, it's real. It's real. So don't fucking tell me that, oh man, Germans are bad, Nazis are bad, Hitler's terrible. There are ramifications to everything in history. You can't just say good and evil just because it fits your opinion. You can't. Because once you do that, like the liberals do, once you just label good and bad without letting an individual decide that for themselves, you are creating a communist hellhole. Okay? Censorship, in my mind, is truly the greatest fucking evil, right next to pedophilia and rape and murder. I mean, seriously, man. Let me emphasize this every fucking time I'm on the goddamn podcast. No rape, murder, or crime, and fuck pedophiles. I will destroy fucking pedophiles. Fuck you goddamn disgusting piece of shit. I hope you all goddamn burn, fucking hang, whatever. Worst fucking treatment, chemical castration. Fuck you motherfuckers. But, man, you gotta be able to formulate your own opinions. You have to be able to see all options and see all sources. Now, do I extend that thought process to recreational drugs? Perhaps, potentially, but with an asterisk. And this is where I was very stunned with the decision of Oregon that passed last week, that Oregon will be the first state to allow recreational psychedelics, which I think that's a whole mess that's just waiting to happen. Of course, short-term ramifications, you're probably going to have a pretty decent, sizable boost in terms of money, income. I don't know how much of the government takes that shit, but are you trying to turn Oregon into like a, I don't know, Mexican cartel hellhole? Is that the plan here? Boy, oh boy. I get the argument that, legalizing everything is going to fix everything. Well, not really, especially in a wild, wild west, not so well governed state like Oregon. But it's the curious thing about politics is that you can nitpick what you need to. And people don't seem to understand that. That you can formulate your political opinions based on individual policies and not just the umbrella party, right? The party umbrella, it's just a convenient way to, do a fucking popularity contest every 4 years. But again, I feel like Donald Trump really does exemplify what Americans really need, is a nationalist, populist president that understand that not every issue is that black and white, and you need some subtlety, you need some center, you need some kind of nuance there, and I think he does a pretty damn good job of that relative to how I see it. Of course, everyone else has their own fucking opinion. I get that, but this is why, in my mind, President Trump will win again. This is why President Trump will expose the liberal ridiculousness, and this is why President Trump is the greatest president of all time, in my opinion. If President Trump sets the mold and the standard and the precedent to destroy the bilateral party system and unify the United States under an umbrella party that just gets how to create opportunities for this nation and also elevate this nation's prosperity and power, man, he will be the greatest president of all time, period. And like I tell you, kids, this election isn't over yet. I mean, all throughout this week, litigations are going to be going on. You have AG Barr coming back from a fucking week of vacation, which was ridiculous at last week. I'm just thinking, all throughout, when all the shenanigans going on, I'm thinking, where the fuck is my boy AG Barr? He's supposed to be here fucking pounding his balls down like, y'all bitches can't fucking fuck with me. But, and yes, this is exactly how I think AG Barr speaks in his head and in private to people that know him. But AG Barr is back, and you have the Trump administration just doing double time in terms of fighting this blatant cheating. And I said this last week on Instagram and all the fucking shit that I got right now. Fuck you, Twitter. That the Democrats are pretty much playing the same tropes as the Houston Asterisks, just vehemently denying, saying that everybody else is the problem, and points out, the opposition and says, well, we're not the mean ones here. Everyone else is getting on our shit. It's like, well, no, dipshit. You motherfuckers were not only implicated, but there's proof. There's plenty of proof. And boy, man, I thought Houston Asterix fans were goddamn retards, but oh, you liberals are on another fucking level. The abundant hypocrisy that comes from the left is nauseating. Mainly because all of that derives from Trump derangement syndrome. I mean, when you talk to a liberal and immediately the response is, oh, I hate Trump. Blah. They can't give you a definitive answer, nor reason, nor explanation as to why they hate Trump, because they're NPCs and they're programmed. And, you know, when you subject yourself to this shit all the time and you just keep listening to the news media heads, you are going to get brainwashed. It does happen. So you need to be able to plug out of that, man. And I'm not going to tell you how to do it because everyone on this goddamn planet perceives information differently. Okay? It took me a fucking good weekend of just red pilling the fuck out of myself. I mean, that shit was a suppository right up. It took a fucking weekend to just brush up everything in my head and just dive all in. And some motherfuckers take longer. Some motherfuckers take shorter. But I would urge all of you to stop listening to mainstream fuckheads. Stop buying into false narratives. Look into the data yourself. Look into the number yourself. Be able to unplug from this bullshit matrix. Because guess what? The fucking reality that mainstream media wants to paint to you, like I said, broken America, racist America, yada, 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 Trump is a fucking white supremacist. It's false. It's total bullshit. Walk out on the street right now. Well, it's in the middle of the night. Don't do that. Rarely would I say go out in the middle of the night because you just don't know what the fuck is going to happen in the middle of the goddamn night. Stay safe out there, kids. But, bro, it's just utterly ridiculous. Like you can't fucking tell me this country is a goddamn hellhole, but it's you motherfuckers on the left that is making a coerced effort to turn it into a shithole. But you're projecting and deflecting all this shit to Trump, which is absolutely mind-blowing. And all you NPCs, again, conservatives, liberals, conservatives, libtards, go fuck yourselves. All of you. And if you're willing to take that step to just toss all those fucking labels away, Republican, conservative, liberals, Democrats, if you're ready to fucking throw that shit away, come join me. You know, let's red pill ourselves. Let's fucking gather information, see what's actually going on. And you know what? Just enjoy life. Life's great. Especially if you live in this country, man. The United States of America. The greatest, most free country in the world. Unless Biden gets elected. Because he's going to turn it into a Chinese hellhole. And he's going to make our country kind of similar to South Korea. Chinese slaves. Oh, Koreans getting offended. Shut the fuck up, you goddamn Koreans. All right, I'm a Korean too. And China is a goddamn slave master to you fucking Koreans. Don't even deny that shit. The policies, everything that kind of aligns with Biden's presidency favors South Korea. So shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear anything else about that shit. And yeah, man, just enjoy life. You live in the States. Go outside in the daylight. Enjoy a bit of a walk. And for me, you know how I unplug? Video games. Video games, kids. It's the greatest fucking thing. And tomorrow, funny enough, November 11th, 2020, marks the 9-year anniversary, the release of my favorite game of all time. One of my favorite games of all time. I'll just say that. One of my favorite games of all time, Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. And I definitely want to do a episode this week discussing video games and how much I've just been fucking poured into Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. I mean, I've played that game probably like 20, 30 times at this point, you know, start to finish. But lots to discuss over the week, kids. And yeah, the week hiatus just kind of made me think about man, I mean, you're so inconsistent with the releases. What the fuck is wrong with you? What's going to be the future schedule? I don't know. I mean, for a couple of months, I've been going, every day, compensating with double episodes, double headers. But right now, I'm at this point of, let's see where it takes us. But definitely tomorrow, kids, we are going to have a new episode. Piggy Skin Picks review for week number 9. I can't believe the NFL week is just flying by, and we're almost at the end of the season. Closer to the end of the season than the beginning of the season. Think about that shit. But we are going to have episodes throughout the week coming up. And yeah, that really is all there is to it. And I apologize, everybody, because I do really want to push out episodes every day, but sometimes I just don't really want to. I just don't write as well as I should, nor do I feel ready to just be on camera, because there are times I just eat way too fucking much and just some fucking bloated fucking Aunt Jemima look, and we don't want to go for that. Although, I mean, I'm never really much of a looker anyway, so why the fuck do you care about that? Yeah, just maybe a bit of a optics thing. But yeah, we're going to have new episodes coming out in the next few days here, consecutively. So be on the lookout on the YouTube, Facebook. I'm going to post snippets on Instagram. But yeah, this was kind of a messy episode. Kind of unconnected, just all over the place. But hey, ultimately, this is America. Live free, but think for yourself, retards. Otherwise, you'll be an NPC. Again, next episode, we're going to have tomorrow Piggy Skin Picks review for week number 9 of the NFL season. And that'll do it for today. All right, motherfuckers. I appreciate you dropping by this episode. Follow me at the Sky Lounge on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. And also check out the Sky Lounge on YouTube. Not Twitter because I'm suspended. Instagram and Facebook. Seriously, check out Instagram. I've been fucking going ham on that shit. And shout out to people who are following. Again, I'm not crazy about the numbers and following, but I do appreciate anybody just dropping by, spreading the fucking awareness, and just dropping by for the memes. Yeah, that's what I like to do. Dropping memes. So be able to bring your fucking phone up and bring that shit up and share it. So have an awkward outro, but until next time, kids, fuck off. Ugh.